closing, what should the UNA member take away from this conversation? I want to summarize it for what should they remember from everything that you've told us in a few words.
Yeah, I'd say Africa has great potential, and conversational commerce is taking shape in the continent. Like Geoffrey said, many people are using WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok to converse with each other and the businesses they love. And Chpter is adding value to this segment by enabling businesses to accept payments on this platform and use AI for customer support. So if you're one of these businesses, you can go to our website, sign up, tell a friend or a business that you know that's back home. And if you're keen on also being part of this value creation, either through introductions or advice or investment, we can be able to also reach out and we can see what we can do.
All right. Geoffrey, do you want to do the honors of introducing to us? First of all, thank you for making the arrangement to bring us Mark here. It's very good that you do that. Keep us connected with others in the community as well as the Uganda and the East African community at large. Did you want to?
Yes, I'll do that. I'll just say a brief comment. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Geoffrey Kibanika, I live here in San Francisco, California. So, very passionate about, building, tech, the whole ecosystem, both in the US, Africa,
Yeah.
And from what I've seen, really how Silicon Valley has been built, there are just so many things have to come together. So I met Andrew Besson, who is also co-founder of Chpter, or one of the other companies related to Chpter, here in San Francisco about like 2 months ago, or around that time anyway. We discussed a lot. And actually, so another friend of mine, Ashley, who has spoken to this forum, is kind of who introduced me to Andrew. But, the whole vision is that, no matter where we're building, whether it's Kenya, Africa, a company has to, you're building a company that has to scale out of different markets and things like that. So we are all part of this. It doesn't matter whether it's in Kenya or Tanzania or whatever, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So that's how the conversation came about. And so, so glad to have you, Mark, and please go ahead, take it on from here.
All right. Thanks, Geoffrey, for that introduction. I see Mark is still on mute. I don't know if he maybe stepped away. Okay, he's back.
Hello, Robert.
Hello,
Geoffrey.
Hi, Mark. Good to have you. Thank you for joining us. How is Nairobi?
Nairobi is very cold right now.
Yeah.
Very cold, but very cold. Actually, we got reports that it could get to 0 degrees this month. So I think
what? Zero? Really?
That's going to be quite new. Yeah, I know. Celsius. So yeah, it's quite cold, but it's very, very nice to join you guys. Of course, my brothers and sisters here in East Africa. And very nice to just make this connection and, just share what Chpter is building in this region and see how we can be able to work together, like Geoffrey said, to push the industry forward. Silicon Valley has been able to do a great job. There's a great support community there. And I really appreciate your efforts in seeing how you can do it the same in African countries. So excited to meet you all and tell you more about Chpter today.
All right. Why don't you start off, Mark, by telling us a little bit about Just yourself, personally, personal introduction a little bit, so we get to know you. You look very youthful, at least younger than I am, I can say that. It looks like you're doing a lot of great things, so I would like to know you as a person a little bit. And then after that, you tell us a little bit about Chpter's vision and mission. What are you set out to solve on the African continent?
Yeah, thank you, Robert. I think a little bit about myself. Born and raised here in Nairobi, Kenya. Interesting story is I actually studied architecture in the University of Nairobi and University of Pescara in Italy. So by the time I was graduating, I graduated really well, got a first class honors. I was able to win an international competition and joined the largest firm in Africa called Bugatman and Partners. So they designed the World Cup Stadium in South Africa, if you remember that time. So I felt like I'd had some success early on in my career, but then I felt like I wanted to do more. So immediately after school, decided to quit my job and convinced my classmate, who's actually my co-founder, Kiarie, to begin a tech company. So we started Chpter in his bedroom. Of course, this time, we didn't know how to code, but, we started teaching ourselves how to code. So we'd spend multiple hours a day on Udemy, on lynda.com at the time, on YouTube, teaching ourselves how to code. We built our first version of the product, which was a credit scoring engine. So the credit scoring engine would assist banks to give credit scores to small businesses because we'd identify that problem where if you're a small business and you need a loan from a bank, it will take anywhere from 3 to 6 months before you get a loan. Yeah. So we built a software that will look at the audited accounts of a business, do scenario analysis, financial forecasting, use the discounted cash flow methods and give them a score. And then the credit analyst can see, okay, this is how much I can give this business in terms of a loan. So we knew we'd be, millionaires in a couple of months, given that we'd seen what's happening in Silicon Valley with Mark Zuckerberg and even Spiegel for Snapchat. But then, we didn't become millionaires in a year exactly. Like it was really hard. We hadn't anticipated how difficult it would be to sell to banks. The sales cycles were really, really long. But still, we pushed on. We were able to get the software into testing with NCBA Bank and Absa Bank, some tier 1 banks here in Kenya. And right before we said, okay, this thing is taking too long, we got an acquisition offer from a microfinance bank for a fairly decent amount, $80,000. We were 25 at the time. So we were like, oh yeah, let's just sell it. And now we actually use those proceeds to begin the chapter that's there today. So that was about a year and a half. We always joke that first business taught us how to become really good developers and give us an exit. So now, given what we knew, we were like, okay, let's build a solution for small businesses because we saw firsthand how difficult it is for them to access financing. But then in us trying to fix that problem, we saw there's a new wave where many businesses are accepting payments on WhatsApp, but it's very crude, on Instagram, but it's very crude. And there's an opportunity for us to take advantage of what is now called social commerce now. So that's when we got together and started building to solve that particular problem.
What? Give us a little more about chat commerce. Africans are chatty, I would say. If we go to the market, growing up in Africa, you first talk to the vendor or seller and you talk about everything else other than the business that you came to do. And then ultimately you get to the business. So are you tapping into this concept of Africa, chatting and before doing a business? Is that what I am understanding that you're targeting?
Yes, that's correct, Robert. I think what we realized was, and even just a background on chat, slash conversational commerce is, if of course African society and many emerging markets are very high context, like you're saying. So if I want to buy something from you, or if I want to even ask you for something, I'll come, hey Robert, how are you? How are the kids? How's your family? All these things, right? And it's the same in the market. Like people are very conversational, and a conversation is many times necessary to make a sale. And if you go back to also the history of commerce, you'll find commerce always requires some sort of conversation. If you go back to, before technology, even in the West, people need to talk before goods and services exchange hands. So when social media became a big hit in the 2010s, social media, connecting people, and in a large part, what people do on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, and WhatsApp, is they talk to each other. But then over time, these consumer platforms also became platforms where consumers interact with businesses. So if I want to know if business X is open, instead of giving them a call or going to their website, I'll go to their WhatsApp and ask, hey, are you guys open? Or if I have an issue, I need support, I'll go to WhatsApp or Instagram and say, hey, I didn't receive my shoes. My shoes don't fit, things like that. So because of these social media platforms, businesses started connecting with consumers. But then you find no one has really good solution to enable businesses to take advantage of these platforms as sales and support channels. So that's the gap we saw. In Africa, in the West, email in a large part has done a good job of that. But then here in Africa, you find, people don't have emails, or like they don't really check their emails. So now we saw there's a gap there for Chpter to come in and build tools for conversational commerce. Whether that conversation is happening on WhatsApp, WhatsApp has the highest penetration, or Instagram, or even new platforms like TikTok. We want Chpter to be able to take advantage of those platforms and empower businesses to offer support and also increase their sales.
So you are there. I am on WhatsApp, and how does the business find me? First of all, do I have to go to the business's storefront on the internet, let's say a website or their social media handle, and then from there, is that how you start now to enable the conversation? How is that going?
Yes, that's correct. Actually, happy to show you guys a demo if you're interested.
Sure.
I prepared something.
Absolutely.
Show you a demo.
Yep.
Nice. I think
Let me enable you to share, because I'm very curious about how this is working. Let me enable you. Yeah, let me enable you to share. I'll make you a co-host.
Amazing.
Should
yeah, I can share. Can share. Entire screen is share. Nice. Can you see my screen now?
Yes. Yes, I can see the screen.
So let me go to this. Okay. Yes, let me go to my phone. So I'm mirroring my phone here. So the user journey is, I can go to the WhatsApp profile or the WhatsApp number of a business I know, or I can go to their Instagram page and I can send them a DM, a direct message. So let me show you this for one of our customers here in Kenya. Currently, we actually have about 3,000 registered users, and we're live in Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa. So this is Kicks Kenya. Kicks Kenya is the largest sneaker store in Kenya. And let me show you one way in which a customer can be able to interact with a business that's powered by Chpter. So once I go to this business, this is their WhatsApp number, and I can be able to easily purchase something from their catalog, and I can go all the way to checkout. So this business sells sneakers. So if I want to buy these Sambas, I can just come, I add it to cart. Let me add one to cart, remove. Yes, I can place an order like that. So I'll just place my order there. And then from this, I'll actually begin the checkout process. So I can come and configure my size. there. So let me say, I'm going to say it's 42. Then I complete. And then I can now do the entire checkout journey on WhatsApp. So I've ordered from them before, so you can see some of my details are already saved. Here I'll pick my delivery zone. These zones are set by the business so that they know, how much they'll charge that consumer depending on where they live. So I've picked Kileleshwa. Then next I pick my exact address. So this is my home address. I can add a new one. I can add my address for work. So let me just pick my home address there. Here I've gotten an order receipt like that. So I can be able to now select my payment method, right? So we have mobile money, M-Pesa. So someone can check out with M-Pesa or they can check out with cards. So if I select M-Pesa there, it will ask me for my phone number. So 0723 701, like that. Then I can click pay now. And I'll get a prompt on my phone where I'll just put my PIN and the checkout will be complete. So you can see right there, I've canceled the transaction, but this could have completed the checkout process right here on WhatsApp. So this is really powerful because, WhatsApp is a channel that, has the highest penetration, so many people there to get support. So many people go there to interact with, family and friends. And it's a really great channel for people to be able to make orders and purchase. And as you've just seen, I haven't even left WhatsApp at all. Everything has been done within the app.
Yeah. Whereas before, what would have happened? There would have been a business would have shared a link that a customer follow and trust. Most people don't trust some of these links, or we tell them not to trust these links. So the business would have had to share a link, send you to somewhere else to complete the transaction. So it is interesting that you're enabling this to happen right here
exactly. Exactly, Robert. It's happening right here on WhatsApp, no redirects at all. And this is, maybe Geoffrey can ask a question.
Yes, Geoffrey, do you want to ask?
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe also, can you tell us more about the integration? So I saw M-Pesa, which is M-Pesa is mainly in Kenya. So now, what about for countries like Uganda where there's no M-Pesa? What are your plans?
Yeah, and I was going to ask about that, and also what languages, because now, what other languages on the African continent are supported by what you're doing? What conversations have you enabled, and what other languages other than?
Other than English, good question. I think so. We've been we're in Kenya now, in South Africa, and Nigeria, and that's with reason. So what we've done is, in Kenya we have both M-Pesa and card, and this is because of course we've started in Nairobi, so we have rails to that mobile money network, and in South Africa we partnered with Paystack, so we're able to support card and also direct debit, so direct bank transfer. And in Nigeria as well. So we're actually going to launch in Uganda next week. And this is through our partnership we'll have with Flutterwave. So through Flutterwave, we'll be able to go live in 11 additional markets. And now Flutterwave will enable us to have MTN in Uganda. So when someone is going to check out in a Ugandan business, they'll see MTN, card, and MTN and card. If they're checking out in Nigeria, they'll see direct bank transfer, card, USSD payments, etc. So it's taken us over, I think, 6 months to be able to complete this integration with Flutterwave. It's going to be huge. We're even going to have a media announcement with them next week. So that's why we were not in Nigeria, live in Uganda yet. We really wanted to lean on the infrastructure that other businesses have built in terms of payments, so that you don't have to go country by country and get licensing. So that's on the payments question. On the languages, let me tell you more about the languages when I show you another way in which a customer can order. So let me just go to, this is our demo store. And what we've done, in addition to just going to the catalog and ordering, right? Someone can also order by just having a conversation with the business. And here we've layered AI on top of that experience. So we've taken the ChatGPT APIs. We also take like FAQs and crawl the website of a business. And someone can go to our WhatsApp page or an Instagram DM and actually have a conversation with an AI, and that will lead them all the way to checkout. So you can see I was doing a demo actually yesterday. So I can just come and say, hello, I am back. I want some hiking shoes, right? Just like that, right? So when you ask this question, it will go check the inventory of the business, check check the inventory of the business, know what items are available or not, and then it will give you an answer here, and I can be able to just converse with the AI. I won't even know it's AI, and then it will lead me all the way to checkout. So you can see here, it's saying here are some of the hiking shoes we currently have available, women's, all these things. So I can say I want 2 of the women's gray for class. Then I say, what sizes do you have? Right. So to answer your question, Robert, this can also happen in Swahili. This can also happen in Swahili. We haven't tried it in other languages, but since you're leaning on top of what OpenAI can be able to do, then I think we can go and check and see which languages are supported. But for now, it's just English, but it's very versatile because we're riding on their technology. So hiking shoes are available. However, the specific sizes are not listed in the data I have. If you have a particular size in mind, I can check for availability. Okay, I can say, do you have size 42? Yeah. So you can see right from this, and even if I scroll up to show you how we are doing this demo, I can be able to converse with this AI, and it can guide me all the way to checkout. And the real benefit of this we're seeing is, many businesses also tend to lose a lot of sales because they don't respond fast enough. And if a customer doesn't receive a response within 7 minutes, they can be able to turn and just go and look for that item from another business. So this enables the business to be always on, and they can offload a lot of their customer support and sales using these AI agents. So you can see it's saying the shoes are available. If you're ready to proceed the order, let me know. So I can just say I want 2, please, and it will take me to the checkout flow I'd shown you initially, where I can add it to my cart. I'll select the delivery zone, and it will assist me to checkout. So this is currently what businesses are able to do. And like I mentioned before, WhatsApp is one of the highest penetration, communication channels. So we're doing this for WhatsApp. We've launched Instagram. Next, we'll also do TikTok and Facebook Messenger.
Very conversational. Whereas before, I would have had to go to the company's website and read up on my own, put things in the cart, and if I have to get any answers, I would have to pick up a phone call, wait in a queue, talk to someone. So you're enabling me to avoid all of that, the frustration, and just it's like talking to a human being. Right?
Yeah. So let me
exactly.
Just so yes, I mean, I see the opportunity. For those who are familiar with China, China has, we developed WeChat for payments. Yeah. So now, next question, Mark. Now, even here in the diaspora, we have Ugandans with small businesses on WhatsApp, all these things, selling mandazi, selling whatever, many things. So the question is now, just let's say I'm a Ugandan here I sell, we have our own commodities, not the American, not the American commodities. Okay. We have our own commodities. So I see Ugandans on WhatsApp in these channels saying, oh, I'm selling this, I'm selling this. Okay. So what would it take to integrate that? I mean, is it pay stub, and is there any other, other process or regulatory? Because we see this every day, at our conventions. There are all these small businesses everywhere in Ugandan community, on WhatsApp selling our own merchandise, not this American merchandise. And all these conversations happen on WhatsApp.
Yeah. Do they have to have a presence, like a website? Do they have to be up to a certain level of technology? Because some of our members in our community are just at that level. They will send you a flyer and they expect you to call them. Now, for them to take advantage of what you have developed, what do they have to have in place? I think that's just to add to what Geoffrey is thinking.
Yes, good question. Thank you, Geoffrey. Yes, they don't need to have a website. All they need to do is to have, just a Meta profile. So if they have a Facebook account, they'll get a Meta business suite where they can be able to configure their catalog. And as long as we link to that catalog, we can enable them to have, checkout and payments on WhatsApp, and also AI customer support on WhatsApp. So your question on the payments, so through Flutter, we can be able to accept payments also in US and Canada. And then once we accept, so we have a multi-currency wallet with Flutterwave. So once we accept payments from US and Canada, really from anywhere in the world, any of the markets that Flutterwave supports, then the business is able to also withdraw that money to a US bank account. I think that's why we needed that integration. So I'd say now maybe they can go live with, AI, but it won't reach the point of checkout. But from next week, when the release is public, someone can be able to sign up, accept payments, and also it will be linked to their bank account.
How do they sign up? Is this an app? How do they sign up? Or do they have to download an app? They have to come to your website?
So you can just sign up by going to our website. So our website is, you can still see my screen, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, so here's our website. Let me just minimize this. So here's our website. So it's chpter.co. So that's Chpter without the A. So here you can be able to see exactly what Chpter can be able to offer, how you can be able to handle orders on WhatsApp and Instagram. You can be able to run discounts. You can be able to run upsells and surveys. So you'll just come here and start your free trial there. So that will take you to a page where you can be able to register and sign up. It supports, you can sign up from any country, no problem. And if you can just sign in into an account to show you what a business would expect to see. So I'm signing up into an account there. So one account can have many accounts under it. But when you're here, you can be able to activate your AI assistant. You can be able to link your WhatsApp and your Instagram there. And if I go to the homepage, as a business, I can easily start seeing stats of, I can run campaigns on WhatsApp. I can see how they're performing, what's the delivery rate, the read rate, the click-through rates. I can see analytics on my chats. And if I actually go to charts, you will see, this is what the business will see on the back end, right? So if I go to charts, I can be able to see all the charts that are currently ongoing. You can see AI stand on here, but I can also be able to jump in and reply to the customer. So you can be able to do both. So you can have AI turned on, and it will be handling all the customer responses. But then a business can also use this as a customer support tool. And the benefit is they're able to get both WhatsApp and Instagram in the same place. And you also give them rich customer segmentation where they can be able to add certain tags to customers. They can see information like the purchase frequency. They can see the total order value. They can offer discounts within the chat. So it's like a super boosted, a more powerful way to use WhatsApp and Instagram the way a business would use it. So those are some of the benefits the business will be able to get once they integrate with Chpter. In addition to that, they can be able to benefit from WhatsApp campaigns. It's similar to email campaigns, but now these are campaigns that go to WhatsApp, which has a higher open rate and read rate. And then, of course, they can be able to, accept payments, and all their payments will be able to appear here. So, yeah, those are some of the things they can be able to see when they sign up on Chpter. We have an app as well. Let me just show you the app. So the app is where you can be able to just respond to customers on the go. So this is the Chpter's app. So this is for the account I was demoing now. So as you can see, I can see all the chats there. I can be able to respond on the app. I can turn the AI on and off. I can be able to see all the campaigns that I've sent. I can see how they're performing. I can be able to see all my payments. I can issue refunds and so on. So you can also be able to do some of those things on the Chpter app.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you very much. Once again, those of you who have just joined us, we are talking to Mark, the co-founder and CEO of Chpter. He's talking to us about chat commerce conversation instead of going to a website and looking around and getting lost and getting frustrated. Today, we find ourselves in social media having conversations, chatty as always, and learning about products, services, who is selling what. And now there is an opportunity to actually convert those conversations into actual sales. Do I have to have a minimum amount of, let's say, volume of business for me to take advantage of your solutions? Or in other words, is it for medium business, large business, small to medium? How is that looking like?
Yes, for the businesses which we've seen that will see the most success, I'd say it's medium businesses, medium to large. But that given also smaller businesses can be able to see a lot of value, especially in being able to use Chpter as a place where they can store all the information of their customers, as a place where they can also be able to send out marketing campaigns on WhatsApp and grow their business. So I'd say it's more suited to medium businesses in terms of who we target, because, as a startup, we want to be profitable and make money. But even smaller businesses can be able to just come in, take advantage, and be a step ahead in terms of how they relate to their customers.
Interesting. So looking ahead, where do you see this technology, artificial intelligence going? What do you think is not yet touched in our ecosystem, in the African ecosystem? What should we look forward to? The next thing you might solve for us?
Good question. I think number one is we want to make Chpter $1 billion business.
Okay.
Started from Kenya, started from East Africa, but made for the world. And why we say that is we believe platforms like WhatsApp and Instagram can become full-featured customer service and success solutions if we use AI, right? So in the West, large companies, large Fortune 500 companies, they can build very robust customer service tools, etc. But then we've noticed, like just WhatsApp that everyone has, in Africa, in other emerging markets like, Latin America and Far East Asia, we can really lean on WhatsApp and enable businesses to use them as channels where they can support customers and make a lot of sales. And by doing that, that value we create will, really make Chpter a big business.
Do I have to pay? How do you make money? Do you charge me per transaction, per message? How does that work? And hopefully, Meta will not start charging us coming to WhatsApp, because I know it's still free. But who knows? I worry about them starting to charge us, and how that is going to impact our users. But how do I pay you for your service?
Yeah, so we run subscription be a SaaS model, and then we also have some usage fees. So we charge, so we have packages starting from $29, which has Instagram alone. Then we have $69, which has both Instagram and WhatsApp. And then we have $199 for more medium to large businesses. And businesses get to pay that subscription a month just to use the platform. We also get a commission on the payments. So we get a certain commission, just between 1 and 1.5% when someone uses checkout. And then finally, whenever the business wants to send out marketing campaigns or use AI, they will load up credits into their wallet, and we will be able to make some revenue from those credits. However, one thing which we're doing to support businesses is every package comes with prepaid credits for both AI and marketing campaigns. So it means if I'm a small business and I just take, the $69 package, I will get, up to, 150 AI credits for free. So it means 150 conversations of the month will be handled by AI free of charge. And I can also be able to send campaigns to up to 100 people for free. I can buy more, but we do provide some preloaded credits to just make it easier for businesses to use and see the value.
And when you say marketing campaigns, so I can use your platform to help send me WhatsApp messages to my customer base. Is that?
Yes. For instance, like the UNA association, maybe you have 100, 200, 1,000 members. Mm-hmm. So you can be able to create a list and upload it on Chpter, and you can send a marketing campaign. For instance, say we have an event, and people can be able to click and pay or click and join. You can also be able to create segments, I think, which is a good thing with a campaign. So if you're within UNA, if you're targeting people who are in technology or people who are in, home services, or it's people who are in education, you can create different lists and be able to send them campaigns. And when they respond to that campaign, of course, you're able to talk with them within Chpter. We even have AI take charge of that conversation.
Great. So it's CRM. You help me gather my customers in a database, be able to engage them, and you also help me run campaigns all on that same fee per month. Sounds like you're enabling small businesses to do what they couldn't do on their own somehow.
Yes. I think one of our yes.
Yeah. Go ahead. Finish that one, and I'll ask you. Finish your thought. I thought you wanted to say something. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, yes. I was saying, one of our taglines is you want to give businesses superpowers. So, everything you need from your marketing, because all these things are connected. Your marketing will increase your outbound messages, and then that will increase the conversations you have, and then that will lead to a sale. So that's why we thought it's prudent to just sort of like bring them all together, so that you don't have Chpter in many other platforms you're using. You can just have one.
All right. Thank you very much. If you have questions, please feel free to put your hand up or put it in the chat for if you have a question for Mark. So don't wait in the end, we'll do a Q&A, but if you feel like there's something burning and you want to ask, feel free to ask. But Mark, we are, Geoffrey, as you mentioned in the beginning introduction, we are very passionate about building or contributing to the construction of an ecosystem within our community, our Ugandan community, a technology ecosystem. And you having been an entrepreneur at a very young age, you've seen quite a bit of, I think I could guess the challenges on the African continent, government and legislation, regulation. What lessons have you learned that you can share with us so that we can learn from what you've gone through to start as an entrepreneur in Africa?
Thank you for that, Robert. I think I'd say, building in Africa is challenging. I think it's challenging. I think we're called, developing economies for it because, all the infrastructure has not been built yet. So maybe to just do value addition to the end consumer, perhaps in the US, things already work. So you can be able to easily create something and it will get to the end consumer easily. But for instance, here in Africa, if you even want to start a food business, delivering that food to someone is the delivery part is not fixed yet. So it's very hard to even find a logistics provider, something that's probably very easy in the US. So in Africa, you sort of have to build the product and build the infrastructure to some extent to realize your goal, or partner with other players who are trying to also solve the infrastructure problems. Like I mentioned, working with Flutterwave. But I think the good thing I've seen with Africa is because the economies are not so built out, there's a lot of opportunity, right? In the West, if I want to start, like a food delivery business, there's already very many businesses which are very successful that are doing that. But you find in Africa, there's less competition just because, we're just starting out. So I'd say that's one thing I can encourage, like the opportunities are massive. And the potential for growth is extremely high. And if I can say one of the things I've just seen in business, I think now 5 years, it's just being resilient. The infrastructure is not the best. Probably the government is not doing its job, but I've seen if you just stay resilient, you build a very defensible business with many loyal customers.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing. How did the diaspora, do you think anything that you say, I wish this diaspora could do ABCD to help build, support the African practitioners in the space?
Yes, I think a good one. I think one thing the diaspora can do is, I'd say two things. Number one is just offer a lot of insights to these businesses that are building in the continent. So I say insights because, being in, those more developed nations, you've seen some of the things which have worked, and you can really open the eyes when you see another, African entrepreneur trying to do the same thing. You can sort of like guide them and open their eyes to what's been done before and how that could work. And the second thing I think is being part of that value creation. So if you can be able to introduce them to, powerful people or successful people, in the West who can help, even if you can be able to, invest, it doesn't have to be money alone, even time. If you build some domain expertise and advise these businesses, then you're really doing a good job in terms of helping them create value. You're being part of the value creation with them, and the returns are going to be massive.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. I like that. Let me see, do I have any questions anywhere in the chat? Where does the chat go? So I don't miss them. If anybody wants to ask Geoffrey a question or Mark a question, please just feel free to put up your hand. Let me look into the chat here. So blow up the chat here and see. There was a question from Adrian. Adrian says, does this work for Android and Apple? And how different are you from the competition? I guess who is your competition in the first place? And he's also saying, what is in place to secure our financial transaction? Yeah, cybersecurity. Yeah, how these tools? How secure are these tools?
Thank you for that question, Adrian. Yes, thank you for the kind words. Yes, our app is available for both Android and iOS. And if that's not enough, you can also use it on our web platform on your laptop or your iPad. So it's also very powerful if you use it on web. So it's available cross-platform. And then, how different are we from our competition? So there are a few players who have also seen the insight that we have seen. But then what I think differentiates Chpter is we are going multi-channel. So we believe there's a lot of value we can provide to customers by helping them aggregate a lot of conversational channels into one. So we started with WhatsApp. Now we've integrated Instagram. Next, we want to integrate Facebook Messenger and then TikTok. So this means if you're on Chpter, if you have our app, if you have our web platform, you can be able to have AI and payments across all these platforms by just being on the Chpter platform. So that's one thing we've seen really differentiates us. If it's in terms of security of financial transactions, so we've been working with Flutterwave and Paystack. So both these two businesses are PCI DSS compliant. So this means they are verified and regulated to be able to accept card payments. So your card information is going to be secure. And in case of any fraud, you can be able to dispute, and we will be able to handle any refunds that are required. But so far, we've seen, that doesn't happen as much because also they've been able to build 3D secure payments. So when someone is checking out with their card, they will get a notification from their bank to verify the transaction. So it's very secure and very little fraud, if any, actually happens on the platform.
Okay. Let me see. Thank you for that. Do I have any other question in the chat?
I have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
So you said the Flutterwave you're launching next week, and you're going to have an announcement?
Yes.
Okay. And then, personally for me, I see a lot of, payments is there's still a lot to do in payments just on the continent. About the languages, I think also, there's some data sets in local languages in Uganda, and we can probably see how to, I think there are some at one of our universities, and we can see how to maybe help on that. And I've seen we use cases where even in mobile money, where, doing things in the in the local language really increased penetration of mobile money in like MTN, Momo, they even the actual like ATMs, the banks, they're local languages. So definitely there are opportunities I see because, this is Africa, people in not everybody speaks English. And so going back to really, it comes back to how we collaborate to be able to scale some of these things. You need to be, building a company. All these companies you see, Google, they are never built for one market. They build multiple markets, and it takes this collaboration and these conversations. And at the end of the day, if we create a success story for Chpter, we all winners, not just, if we create a story in East Africa, we all winners, because that's how even the next, will be inspired, or the youth or whatever. That's how it will happen. So that's why for me, I see these things, I see things even like whatever, there are just so many things which I see. And if you look at Africa, how, the entire population is growing on smartphones. So we have to look at these things like 5 years, 10 years from now, and just see the opportunity. commerce is, the entire people is on TikTok. Everybody's on TikTok in Uganda.
Yeah.
So if you just think of that and now introduce commerce, okay? You see, people want to be on, people want to be on that platform and don't leave. People are sharing on TikTok or whatever. So that is what I see. The opportunity, in some of these things. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. As we wrap up, I don't want to keep the community and you in East Africa. It's getting very late over there. So I want to thank you again for taking your time to come to introduce us. And I'm excited that you're launching in Uganda. Are you going to have an on-ground presence, a shop, or how is that going to work?
Thank you for that, and thank you for your comments, Geoffrey. Yes. So when we Chpter, you can be able to download Chpter from anywhere and actually get to use it. So we won't be having a local team in Uganda, but we will be doing digital marketing and webinars in the markets to activate the local community. And a bit of like something interesting that's been happening is we are in late stage conversations with actually Uganda Airlines. I think maybe you guys might appreciate that quite a bit. So that for Uganda Airlines, you can be able to get flight delivery notifications on WhatsApp, just the way you get them on email. And then later on, you can be able to also book your ticket and pay on WhatsApp when you're buying a ticket from Uganda Airlines. So I think those are some of the opportunities we're seeing. It's very late stage, so hopefully maybe for your December holiday, you're going to go back home. You'll use Chpter in the background without knowing. But we're leveraging on customers like that to scale across different markets and sort of like have them as anchor customers.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So, closing. What should the UNA member take away from this conversation? I want to summarize it for what should they remember from everything that you've told us in a few words.
Yeah, I'd say Africa has great potential, and conversational commerce is taking shape in the continent. Like Geoffrey said, many people are using WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok to converse with each other and the businesses they love. And Chpter is adding value to this segment by enabling businesses to accept payments on this platform and use AI for customer support. So if you're one of these businesses, you can go to our website, sign up, tell a friend or a business that you know that's back home. And if you're keen on also being part of this value creation, either through introductions or advice or investment, you can be able to also reach out and we can see what we can do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, unless if you have a question, I think I'm going to close us out. Thank you very much for taking your time. This busy summer is here and everybody is engaged with a lot going on. But thank you very much for listening in. I thank Mark so much for taking his time to introduce to us this solution. It's a fantastic solution. It's a great innovation, enabling us to do commerce in a conversational way, which we Africans are very big on that. We chat and talk about the chicken and the hens and all of those things before we get to do business. So I think this is going to add a lot of value to our economies. So thank you very much for coming up with this and of coming to talk to us. I see Stacy. What tech stack? Let me go to the chat real quick before. What tech stack are you using? Tech stack. Stacy has a question there, Mark. I don't know if you want to engage with that before we go.
Yeah. So we use Golang for our backend, Golang, and we use React for the front end. And then we are sitting on top of AWS and GCP. And we've been using mostly OpenAI for the AI part, but we're making our software multimodal. So we'll start using Gemini as well, which has really good LLMs for e-commerce.
Oh, see, there you go. Thank you very much. How is so cloud? So you are in the cloud. Everything is cloud based. Are you having? Are you looking forward to having data centers locally in the East African region, so people don't have to deal with latency and all those things, right? What do you see happening?
Yeah, I think we'll stick to being in the cloud. I think we've been able to do a good job of using optimizing on AWS so that there's very little latency. However, as we scale through the continent, some markets like Egypt requires that the data does not leave the country. So for markets like Egypt, we have to actually set up a data center like an Amazon data center that's in Cairo or something. I think for markets like that is where we'll have physical data centers.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. You have a great rest of your Saturday. I'm Jambo Habari. My Swahili is very limited, but we appreciate you. Asante sana. Thank you so much for taking your time to talk to us, and wish you the very best going forward. We'll be in touch. Geoffrey, thank you very much for making the arrangement to bring Mark here to talk to us. Have a good evening, everyone. One more. Yeah, so Stacy thanked you. That was the last comment in the chat. Stacy, thank you for letting her know a little bit about the back end and what's driving all of this. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.